Hello, Dan Mowinski here, Certified AI Consultant and Chief AI Officer. Today, I'm going to walk you through real quick how I set up a presentation using ChatGPT Work, which is fairly new to ChatGPT. I've used it a few times, and I'm actually a pretty big fan. So what I did for this is I created an outline, and then I created a slide deck for a training that I'm going to be giving on meta ads here in just a couple days through innovating with AI. So the first thing I did is I went into ChatGPT and I just talked to it. So I did the voice to speech recognition and I told it exactly what this presentation was going to be about, what I was going to be training on it, who was going to be doing what. My business partner is working with me on this one as well, the two of us. So I talked to it about it and I laid down the outline. I laid down exactly what I wanted and I just said everything about the training itself. Then I told ChatGPT to create an outline for a training. I described the audience, I described who the training was, and I asked for it to create an outline for me. And what you're looking at here is the meta ads outline. So it created an entire outline for me based off of what I wanted. Then what I did is I edited the outline a little bit, so you don't just want to take exactly what it said, just to make sure there was stuff right. There was a little bit more added that I didn't need to cover. So I modified it quite a bit based off of what I wanted it to say. Then I saved that doc. Then what I did is I took that doc and I uploaded it to ChatGPT Work. Now, from that, I wanted Work to create me a template, or more specifically, a deck based off of this. So an actual slide deck. So then what I did is I went into my software here. So I went into my software where it has a custom built prompt maker. So what you do in this, you just throw in a very basic prompt and it'll give you an extremely detailed prompt much better and drop that into ChatGPT. So what I told my prompt maker was, hey, make me a really good slide deck that's kind of funny and full of colors, like 2 to 3 sentences at most. And then what it did, it's in prompt. So it says, here's the persona, act as a training expert. Here is your task. Here are the instructions with the task. Here's your output format. Here's the slide copy. So this is the output that I got from my prompt maker. So then what I did is I dropped the deck itself, so the outline, directly here into chat, put in the instruction, so the detailed prompt, and I said to go. Now, at that point, what I did is I had to go pick up my kid from camp, so I left. I was gone. I hit enter and I walked out of the room. When I came back from picking her up at camp, this was completely done. As you can see, it took about 13 and almost 14 minutes to do this. So I was gone. I wasn't even here when it did this. So what it did is it made a few assumptions here, exactly what's going on. It titled the deck. It did 35 slides. And then it gave me this. So this is the actual deck that it gave me. So here's the deck from leads to meta ads. Now, there's a few things about this that I didn't like. It wasn't as colorful as I wanted. It didn't pop the way that I wanted. All I see is a bunch of bullet points with this. I mean, yeah, so this one has a little bit of a flow, but it's mostly just bullet points in different colors. So I wasn't a huge fan of this. So what I did is I downloaded this. Now ChatGPT will give it to you in PowerPoint format. So I downloaded it, dropped it into Google, and that modified it to Google Slides. And then I edited it right inside of Google Slides. Super easy to do that. So I modified what I want. I took out a bunch of slides that I didn't need, and then I changed words. I moved some stuff around. So again, using the AI sandwich, I used AI. I started with my human brain. AI created it, and then my human brain fixed it and tweaked it and made it better. So I got the exact, at least the words and the verbiage and the copy that I wanted inside of the deck. Then what I did is I came back to ChatGPT Work and I said, hey, I cleaned up the deck. I want more fun slides. Having a few bullet points is terrible. This looks boring. I can't spell boring. All right, make it stand out. More colors. Have some fun with it. So make it a little bit better. And then that took about 15 minutes for that. So I left. I did something else. I don't know. I wasn't here when this happened. And then what it came back with is this new deck. So here's the new deck and what that looks like. All right, so the new deck looks significantly better. I am a fan. So it's not just bullet points, it's colorful, it looks nice, it has better flows. It seems, there you go, look, big numbers, bullet points, or I'm sorry, no bullet points with it, but it's adding things, it looks a little bit better, it's easier on the eyes, the colors pop. easy for me to see. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger, but just overall, this is a much better presentation. Now, all I had to do, again, I went through, I modified a little bit of the words, I changed some of the stuff. I had to remove a few more slides that I didn't need to be part of the presentation. But like something like this looks cool. I really like this. This was much better than the slide deck it was before. So I'm a fan of ChatGPT Work for creating slides. Now I know there's so many more things you can do with it, but this is just one very easy, very simple way. And I am on the $20 ChatGPT plan. So people ask, and you might be asking, well, what's the difference between this and Gamma? Now I didn't even upload my company colors. I didn't upload my information. I could store all of that inside of ChatGPT and use that inside of a project. I just didn't do it because this is a little bit different. So if you, and I have done this where you can upload your logo and say, I want it to match the color of my logo, or I want this to be the specific colors, or I want this to be the style. I just didn't do that with this specifically. I just said colorful and fun. But if you have a theme that you want to upload, you could upload an old deck that you have and say model it similar to this, and it will absolutely do that. So I know there's so many different tools out there that can create presentations like Gamma. I know Claude does this as well. I'm just a fan of the way ChatGPT Work does it, and just wanted to share that with you guys. So good luck, happy building.